don't even need to ask, but I see some Power Rangers fans out there. If you're a Power Rangers fan, make some noise. Looking good, you look amazing. Well, obviously you've been highly anticipating this next panel. Now, for all of my Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fans, we have the one and only Amy Jo Johnson. She was in the iconic series, as you know, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Julie Emmerich on the critically acclaimed series Felicity, and Jules Callahan on the award-winning Canadian series Flashpoint. Give it up for Amy Jo Johnson!
I think I came up a little bit too early.
What do I do?
That's okay though. How are you guys? Oh, look at all you. The costumes are beautiful. I love it. Hi. Oh.
I don't think I got an intro.
Sorry,
That's okay.
You didn't get an intro.
Y'all had enough of me yesterday. It's fine.
Thank you for being patient today at my table. I appreciate it. Yeah, here we are. I'm gonna take my coat off. Sit down, hang out, stay a while.
Take your time, Amy.
I'm ready. What's up?
You. I'm Jonathan London from Geekscape, and I am excited to talk to you. I've never actually met you, Amy. I've met a lot of the people who are up here on the main stage, and oh, hey, hi. It's like a big hangout party back there. But when people found out that I was moderating a conversation with you, they really got excited.
Yeah.
Like, there's something about just that role you played in the original team.
Yeah, that was my first job I ever had.
A lot of people grew up there.
Actually, that's not true. My first job I ever had was scooping ice cream when I was in 6th grade. No, yeah, 6th grade. No, but my first acting job was Power Rangers. I went to school in New York when I was 19 to 20. Then I followed a boy across country to Los Angeles. This is very embarrassing to say, but I didn't realize that Hollywood was in Los Angeles. I know.
It was like its own town in your head. You were like,
it was so convenient when I got here. I was like, oh my God, this is great. But I literally drove, I guess on the 10, like pretty much a lot of the way. Does the 10 go all the way?
Yeah, the 10 will take you right in.
Drove the 10 all the way to the ocean. Put my feet in the sand, and I was like, but on my way to the ocean, I saw the Hollywood sign, and I got really excited. Anyway, 6 months later, I left because I was like, I don't know if this is working for me.
The relationship or the career?
We broke up. I broke up with the boy. He went back to Texas, and I was here alone, and I was taking this commercial workshop class from this woman named Katie Wallens. So that was my only sort of thing that I had going on for me with acting myself. And Katie Wallens said, hey, I'm auditioning for this series. Do you want to come out? And it's a kid's show. And I know you're a gymnast. So I said, okay. So I went and auditioned and I got the part. And then I had no idea that like 30 years later, I'd be, I mean, you guys were children then. Did you have any idea that like the longevity of how special the show is and how, well, it's you if you really think about it. Right? Just like the love that you have for those characters is mind-blowing to me. It's really beautiful. So I really thank you.
And it was immediate too. It was immediate, right?
The year before it was the Cabbage Patch Kid. Mm-hmm. And then that year it was the Power Rangers. And I'm sorry if I'm talking too much.
No, okay. They're not here for me.
But I remember the first Christmas, maybe it was the second Christmas. It was the second one because I was with Steve Cardenas, Rocky, from after Austin left. We went to Detroit. I think they spread us out all over you know what that was, you guys? That was the publicity for the movie. The movie was coming out.
They send you like malls and stuff, or like what do they do?
Yeah, so they spread us out all over in malls across the country. Teamed me up with Rocky, with Steve Cardenas, and they didn't know, I guess they weren't prepared for how popular the show was. But I remember we were wearing our costumes without the helmets, and oh no, I refused to.
To put the helmet on, yeah.
Steve Cardenas had the Red Ranger suit on, and I had like a pink t-shirt or something. And they had us go down this escalator into a sea of people, kind of like this right here, but it was a sea of very angry parents who wanted their toys signed, and there was absolutely no security or anything. And I remember they played the Rocky theme, Eye of the Tiger, as we came down the escalator.
Oh yeah, pump up the parents, get them ready to fight each other. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and me and Steve are going into this like sea of you know,
rabid
people.
parents.
And I look at him and I go, on 3, run. And we did. We booked it through the mall, all the way to the back, and got in the limo back there. And I was like, and never again am I doing that without like, oh, can I tell one more story?
Tell us.
And it's fun. So when the show first came out, I always get my timing wrong. So if David was here, he would definitely be correcting me, but he's not here. So I'm just gonna go with my own timeline. We flew to Hawaii. Have you guys heard this story before? No. That's okay. So they flew us to Hawaii, and they had no idea how popular the show was. Nobody did, except for the children, right? Anyway, so we landed in Hawaii, and they announced it on the radio. And when the plane landed, I think there was over 10,000 people in that airport, waiting outside and inside. And it was me, Jason, and David. And I just remember getting off the plane and then getting onto the, I don't know, into the airport. And you know how when you go to Hawaii, they lay you. So they started laying us. No security again, just getting laid and getting laid and getting laid and getting laid. And to the point that we're walking and JDF is right in front of me, and we got laid so much. I just remember Jason turning around and looking at me, and all I see are his eyes.
He looked like a Furby.
Because there was so many flowers up on top of him, and his eyes were just like, and I was like, oh my God. He loved it though, because then we got outside, and I just remember it was swarms of people, and we got in the limo, and then he climbed on the roof of the limo. We were driving through the swarms of people, and he was just he was awesome. Anyway, we almost were laid to death. Anyway.
That's incredible. And
it was crazy.
And is it as we're thinking, like you moved to Texas, or you moved to Cape Cod, you kind of recharge your engines, you come back, you land the role, and was it that immediate that your world changed?
No, God, no. No, so I landed the role, and then we had a whole year, right, of shooting the pilot first, and then in January we started shooting the actual series. I think Jason, JDF, was cast. He came in on the 14th episode. You guys probably know better than I do, but so he came in before the show's been aired. So we shot for a whole year, just about, and then it aired, and I think like 3 or 4 weeks later, we went and did this thing at Universal Studios, which people know about, where we got there, and I don't know how many people that theater holds, like 4,000, 3,000? We had to do like 7 shows that day, because it closed down the highway. There were so many people going to see us at the amphitheater. That's insane. That night. I had nightmares that there was going to be nuclear war. I think it was very intense for all of us who were not famous. We're just first break, and then suddenly pink spandex on national television. There we go.
Amy, for that year that you're filming?
How, it just so much. It was almost like going to college in a way. And we partied like we were in college. We did. It was fun.
But you're also going to business school in a sense, because you're learning how to be a professional actress, and you're learning how to base yourself.
No.
Well, The contracts was like pretty. You weren't getting paid a ton, right? And I think the contracts were like.
I think well, it was more money than I had ever made in my entire life, but I think I got $750 an episode. So.
With
and
residuals.
It's non-union, no residuals.
Oh my God.
That's okay. I have Comic-Cons with you guys, and it's fantastic.
And did that change over the course of your time on the show? Like, what were the things?
Episodes, I'm not sure exactly how many, but I was there about 1.5 years, 2 years. I stayed after Walter, Austin, and Twee left because they wanted it to go union because they were a lot smarter than me. They were a little more business savvy. I had no idea. I was just like, wee. But then I got to a point where, I don't know, I was like, okay, that's enough. Enough of this awesome TV show. I'm ready to go out and to, you know, audition for other things. And I literally didn't get another acting gig for 2 years.
Wow.
So I don't know, are there any aspiring actors here? We are in Los Angeles. Yeah, so my advice to the 5 people out there, is to focus on the craft and focus on taking acting classes and doing plays, and the business aspect of acting, I think, comes naturally through like the perseverance of getting better at your craft. I think with anything in life, I think that's a good way to look at it.
And with things like Flow, as far from Kimberly as you could, or were you just trying to get the gig?
I was just trying to get another gig. So I think my next job after that was called Killing Mr. Griffin.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not true. My next job got me in the union, and I played Iowa's Finest with Billy Crudup. Well, I had one scene. And I was a gymnast, and I was doing a handstand while we had sex. Anyway, we didn't really have sex, guys. That's not how it worked. But in my character role was Iowa's Finest.
That's pretty different.
It was
than Power
amazing.
Rangers.
It was so fun.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God! Robert Towne directed that movie. It was an experience, and I got in the union. And then the next job after that was Killing Mr. Griffin.
Did you always have
with Michelle Williams, actually?
Well, as you're taking all these different roles, and they're different every time you're doing it, when did the directing bug kick in? When did the directing bug kick in?
Oh, I think I had the bug earlier than I actually acted on my desire and figuring out my passion. So I actually left Los Angeles when I turned 35 because I was kind of burning out. I was very insecure. I was very focused on what everybody else is doing, and it was affecting me. So I left. I moved to Canada, and I was like, I'm changing my life. I'm not gonna act anymore. But I ended up getting a series called Flashpoint, which brought me to Toronto. And it changed my life, really. First of all, I had my daughter during that time. But I also, I feel like I found my confidence while shooting that show. Yeah, has anybody watched Flashpoint? Yeah, it was such a good experience for me with Enrico and the whole cast. I was the only girl. Right? I had to be a sniper, and I had to be like this confident person, this, you know, and I just remember being pregnant and the producer or Enrico or somebody saying, just like, you know, fake it till you make it. And literally through those 5 seasons, I suddenly just found myself just more grounded in my body, and in my life I felt myself more grounded. Probably becoming a mother, and long story short, during that time I figured out that I wanted to tell stories, and actually acting wasn't fulfilling me or making me super happy. But once I started writing and directing and doing my first short film, I was like, oh my God, this is all I want to do with my life, is to work with other people and make films. I love it so much. I love it.
Do you look for opportunities to empower them as a director in the way that you see yourself? Like, okay, what would you tell the 35-year-old actor before Flashpoint? And do you encounter actors like that as a director where you're like, this is my opportunity to empower them in the way that I was empowered by a role?
I don't know. You know what? I've never really thought about that. But I was an insecure actor. I don't think actors are necessarily insecure. I think it really suits some people. For me, it was great training ground for when I have become now a writer and a director. But it wasn't, I wasn't doing exactly what my soul wanted to be doing. So yeah, if that makes any sense.
And you wrote your first film, you didn't write your second film.
That's too personal.
Sure.
But I thought I'd make Tammy's Always Dying because I could really connect to it. And I love taking dark situations and finding some levity in there and finding, I don't know, a way to just sort of find some lightness within the dark and find the funny as well. Because really, there's funny in everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
You just directed, well, it just aired the episode Superman and Lois that you did.
Yeah.
Y'all watch Superman and Lois? Did you notice a familiar name on the credits? I know I did.
Yeah, so
that's a great show.
I got to do season 2, episode 6. It's called Tried and True. It was the most exhilarating experience of my life. I loved it so much. I learned so much. I was terrified when I, got the job and walking into it. But I just, this guy Tom Cavanaugh, do you guys know who he is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he directs a ton of them, and he gave me the best advice in the whole world. I'm gonna give it to you guys, because I think it's a good way to sort of walk through life, is he said, proceed with gratitude. It carried me through that entire show, because everybody there is there to do their best, right? And if you just go through life proceeding with gratitude, it may sound corny, but I'm telling you, it really helps. So anyway, it got me through. But I learned, I got to use like a 100-foot crane and the cast was incredible. They were so generous. I loved it. Have you guys seen my episode?
Come on now, there's some Superman and Lois fans at LA Comics.
So it's season 2, episode 6. It's called Tried and True.
To wrap up, and we were talking about go with gratitude.
Yeah.
What are you grateful for? And what are we going to see you write and direct next? Two questions. What are you grateful for?
Well, right now, my heart is so full with everybody who's come to my table, and I just this weekend, I was so nervous because of everything that's happened recently, and if anything, this weekend has been very healing. I don't know for anybody else, but it's just been really nice. And I just want to share this thing without crying, but I was told somebody this morning that for the first time in my life, I've realized what an autograph holds. Because I didn't get it. I was like, oh, people want autographs. They want my autograph. Oh, okay. But every time someone would come up with something signed by JDF, it buzzed with this energy that he had touched that. And I was like, I get it. Oh my God, I suddenly get it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And so thank you for all of your love.
That is something to be grateful for.
Yeah. And so I've written in the past 2 years during the pandemic, I've written a couple scripts. One is a sort of sexy thriller. And then another one is a love story. And both of those, it takes forever to get a movie off the ground, but I'm working very hard to get both of those movies off the ground. So that's what I'm up to next. So
we are cheering for you, Amy.
Thank you.
And on screen, we're going to see you on screen, maybe?
No. Didn't you hear me? No.
That is a completely. We're totally cool with it. And once a ranger, always a ranger, so we're good with it. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing what you're writing and directing. That's what I told you that's what I'm so excited about.
Oh, thank you. And he's a director too, by the way. But thank you for your support with that. One of the most incredible things is to have these children. Oops, my phone. I want to take a picture with you guys too. Oh. To have children when I was, my first job, have followed my career and watched me transition and change and still be there supporting is just really lovely, and thank you so much. And can we do a weird selfie?
Or I can take it, or you want me in it? Hey, there's a young Ray Romano in the photo with you. And I can take one. Look at this. Everybody wants you to put your hands up and give a big cheer for for Amy Jo Johnson, everybody. Hands up. I'll back up. There's a ton of you. No, everybody get your hands up. Let's go. Got a couple of them for you. Let's check the gate and we will move on, everybody. Thank you so much, Amy. Amy Jo Johnson, everybody.